So I only ever had the one symptom, which was an ever-growing weariness. It wasn't that I was tired all the time, it was that my bones were weary.
Now you notice when I was walking, I felt like my legs was in front of my body. So like the top part was ahead. It just didn't feel right. I remember I was at work and sometimes I would move and I'd feel like my spine going out of sync. So if you can imagine like a bicycle chain, and you know when a chain goes round and it sort of clicks off, so it's like it's not in sync. It was just like an odd twist, and then you'd think like it's gone out, and I've experienced that a few times. If you work and you do a lot of physical work and you do a lot of bending, at the end of the day you think, oh, you've got a little bit of a backache. But this pain, it wasn't like that type of pain. It was like it was inside your bone itself. You could feel the pain inside your bone.
My first symptom was back pain on my lower back on my right-hand side, which at the time I attributed to the fact that I was really busy at work, packing up for an office move. It was kind of Christmas time and we were trying to get everything done before the Christmas break. Thought some rest over Christmas time would help it get better, which actually it didn't. And I returned to work in January and still had a bit of niggling back pain. And then also a few days into the new year, got a really bad chest infection. And that just wouldn't clear up. I felt really sort of tired, really wheezy. It was different from kind of other coughs and things I've had in the past.
So I never really had a problem with tiredness. I'm not built to run, but I am built to walk for a very, very long time and just to keep going. And that's what I found I couldn't do anymore. Whereas I would walk 5-10 miles quite easily, now I was finding that I was walking a few miles and then I had to stop. And as time went by, the distances got shorter and shorter and shorter. And I did try other things. My son wanted me to drink this special iron concoction and lots of other types of remedies, changing diet, things like that. Nothing made any difference.
It was just a chest infection that kind of wouldn't get better with your typical kind of over-the-counter medicines, and it just hung around for a really long time. And I think after a week or so I went to see the GP about it because I was concerned it was just affecting my working life, and kind of outside of work I just had no energy with it, and just, like I said, felt really breathless and tired doing the slightest things.
Well, they gave me quite strong painkillers, and I'm not a person who usually take painkillers. The first week I thought, oh, I feel good, but then after a while it didn't do anything to me at all. And I was like crying to my husband, and that's when he said, these tablets aren't working, something's wrong.
So all these recurring infections and the back pain continued for some months. I kept seeing different GPs and sort of saying that something wasn't right because I was working and commuting into London every day. Sometimes the GPs sort of said it was kind of part and parcel of that, like it's quite normal to kind of pick up germs and viruses, and that, I shouldn't worry, I'd get over these sort of things.
They told me that it was multiple myeloma, and that was the first time I've heard of multiple myeloma.
The actual diagnosis did come as a shock to me, and I remember on my second or third visit being told that myeloma itself is not curable. It can be managed.
Yeah, my advice would be that obviously you know your own body, and when things aren't right with your body, and if symptoms, if things aren't clearing up, infections won't shift or pain is lingering, that's not quite right.
There's nobody interested in my health as much as I am myself.
It sounds a bit strange, but I actually think it's quite kind of a good idea to take someone with you to medical appointments. Sometimes I wish I'd done that myself, because sometimes you have a lot of symptoms and you have a limited amount of time to talk to a GP about what you're going through, but somebody who knows you well and knows what you've been going through can perhaps help advocate for you and share some of the things you've been experiencing.
Something's not right with their body and you're starting getting back pains, and it's not like a normal back pain. If you're lifting something, you're twisting and you're thinking your back feels out of sync. That's when you're thinking there's something wrong. So I would advise them to go to their doctor